David Cole hadn't worn his dress uniform in years. The fabric was stiff, its metals dulled, but it still carried the weight of a past he couldn't escape. He was a Marine veteran, a single father, and a man who had fought hard to rebuild his life after combat left him scarred both inside and out. That morning, he had promised his 7-year-old son, Ethan, that they were going to say goodbye to someone very important. General Matthews, he explained softly in the car, wasn't just my commanding officer. He was the man who pulled me out of fire when I thought my time was up. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have a dad. The boy listened, eyes wide with pride, as David straightened his tie in the mirror. He wanted to honor the general, his hero, his mentor, his savior. But when they arrived at the cemetery, everything unraveled. At the gate, uniformed guards checked lists, credentials, and invitations. When David stepped forward, they frowned. His name wasn't there. His connection wasn't direct family. He wasn't a high-ranking officer. They dismissed him as if his years of service, his sacrifices, his scars meant nothing. I served under General Matthews in Iraq, David said firmly, showing his medals. He saved my life. Please, let me say goodbye. But the guard shook his head. I'm sorry, sir. This service is private. You'll have to leave. Ethan clutched his father's hand, confused. But Daddy, you said we'd see him. The word stung worse than any battlefield wound. Around them, other officers and family members walked through the gates, glancing at David with pity, or worse, with judgment. He felt the weight of invisibility, of being forgotten. Tears threatened, but he swallowed them down. He was about to turn away, ashamed and broken, when suddenly the sound of drums stopped. The funeral procession froze. And a commanding voice thundered across the grounds. All eyes turned. From across the path, a tall, decorated man strode forward, his stars gleaming on his shoulder. General Harris, one of the most respected 4-star generals alive, stopped the ceremony itself to confront the guards. His voice was steady, unyielding. Do you know who this man is? He asked, pointing toward David. The guards stiffened, uncertain. That man bled for this country. That man stood shoulder to shoulder with General Matthews when bullets rained down. You think a guest list decides who belongs here? No. Sacrifice does. The silence was deafening. Then, slowly, Harris walked to David, placing a hand firmly on his shoulder. Son, you belong here more than half of us. General Matthews spoke of you often, said you were one of the bravest Marines he'd ever led. David's knees nearly buckled. His chest tightened, but not from shame this time, from honor. Ethan squeezed his father's hand tighter, beaming with pride. The guards stepped aside instantly. The crowd parted. David and his boy were escorted to the very front, standing just a few feet from the flag-draped casket of the man who had once saved his life. As the rifles fired their salute and the bugle played taps, David held Ethan close, tears streaming silently. For the first time in years, he felt truly seen, not as a forgotten veteran, not as a broken man, but as a soldier, a father, and a brother in arms. When the service ended, General Harris leaned down to Ethan. Your dad is a hero. Don't ever forget that. The boy nodded proudly, whispering, I won't, sir. That day wasn't just about saying goodbye to General Matthews. It was about healing wounds of invisibility, about remembering that honor isn't written on invitations, it's written in sacrifice. As David walked out of Arlington with his son, head high, he knew this moment would shape his boy forever. Because respect, once denied, had been restored in the most powerful way possible.